Thank you, ma'am. I'm glad to introduce Dr. Chintan Shah is a faculty at SDG International College, Surat. He has received a doctorate from Raj University, Ahmedabad, and he done his MBA and BBA graduation in finance from VNSCG, Surat. He has published more than 26 papers in national and international reputed academic journals. He has been invited as a resource person as well as chair session for the technical session at various international and national conferences. He has delivered expert lectures on various topics at various institutions. He has received the Best Younger Research Award 2021 from the Bodhi International Academic and Research Excellence Award. He has been attending various conferences, workshops, faculty development programs, and seminars at various management institutions. He has also presented his works in international conference. He had conducted many management fest to the students, development programs, workshops, and various events. His teaching interests including research methodology, principles of management, financial management, and advanced financial management. We welcoming you, sir, for this session.
Yes, very good morning to everyone on this sunny morning. It is my privilege and honor to be the part of this esteemed international PDP, that is professional development program. So first of all, I congratulate the Partition College of Arts and Science to invite me as a resource person, and I am going to deliver a talk on research process and questionnaire designing. Now, first of all, you all are fortunate enough to you can take a knowledge of very live topic that day before yesterday as well as before 2 days the session. It was really whatever the feedback that I have received, it was really fabulous feedback. So now today I am going to deliver a talk on research process and questionnaire designing. It is very important as far as being a researcher. Just wait. Being a researcher, it is very important try to understand research process, because ultimately it is our prime responsibility. And if you want to stay with academic, or if you want to develop your career, or if you want to build a career in education, then you must have to understand the research process, because you have to write down the research paper. But before going to write down qualitative research paper, okay, how to write quality research paper? So before going to write any particular things, you try to understand what exactly mean by research process. What are the factors? What are the points that we have to consider? So I'm going to discuss. I'm going to throw some light on research process. Okay, and time is definitely time become the biggest constraint, but I'll try to cover maximum part because it's a big journey for us. But I'll try my best to acknowledge whatever that I have. And second point, that is questionnaire designing. Okay, so first point, that is research process. I'm going to discuss these two parts now. Neil Armstrong said that research is creating new knowledge. Yes, absolutely perfect. Research is creating new knowledge. What is research? Re plus search. That is known as research. We have to identify and we have to search out for the development, for the acknowledgement, for the something new, which is known as, you always believe in creating knowledge, sharing knowledge. Okay, so basically the things is divided. It's an introductory part. Research, what I believe. You can see the last line. What I personally believe, that is research is what? Research is what I'm doing. Try to focus on the last line. Research is what I'm doing when I don't know what I'm doing. That is known as research. So try to explore, try to know something, try to deliver something, and try to acknowledge something, which is known as research. Everybody say I can do research. But my questions to you, what do you mean by research? How we can do research? Do you have any idea about research? So research is exactly what I am doing, but when I don't know what I'm doing, that is known as research. Because you are exploring something, because you are identifying something, because you are creating something new, not for you, for the society, for the organization. Fine. So research is defined as a careful consideration of the studying regarding the particular concern, particular topic, irrespective of any topic, science, maths, art, social study, social science, management, finance, HR, any topic. And you should focus on the problem using different scientific method. Basically, what we are doing, what being a researcher, what we are doing, we just take the topic and start researching. No, try to identify the problem from the society. You can go inside and try to know what exactly problem is. Poverty becomes the problem, inflation becomes the problem. In science, the new medicine that you have to identify, that becomes the problem. Environmental becomes the problem. Global warming becomes the problem. Mathematically formula if you want to design. So you try to identify the problem first, but before going to identify problem, you have to go over there and search out. And it is a series of various actions. You have to take actions which are necessary to effective research work. Try to download through primary data, try to download through secondary data. So there are two different collection methods available, that is primary data collection and secondary data collection. Primary data, you can first, it is a fresh ended information, you try to go over them and try to collect the data. And what is secondary data, which is already published by someone, some other what we can say, that researcher, some other author. You can take the base, you can take the help of that particular article to explore something with the help of the methods which we have, with the help of the process which we have. The process, research methodology is a specific procedure, it is a specific procedure. It is already, we can, where we people, where we are stuck, we are formulating the strategy. Okay, we done with the formulation part, but what about implementation part? We never work on implementation, we always work on formulation of strategy, we always work on the formulation of problem. But now you have to execute the problem, you have to implement the problem to know the correct solution. And that's why we have to, being a researcher, being a professor, being a academician, you should focus on, you should concentrate on the techniques, the process which we have, and identify. So technique, that we have number of techniques we have: qualitative data, quantitative data, non-scientific method, scientific method. We have n number of methods available in research. It is up to you. It is up to you. You have to decide. There is no specification available. Yes, you can do the collection of data in this. There are n number of available now. Nowadays, after COVID, n number of e-platform available for everyone. Okay, n number of e-platform available for so you can take a piece. So it's a, you just identify, select, take the help of process, and analyze the information about the topic. Maybe sometime you can get the correct information, maybe sometime you are not able to find, you could find correct information. But if you are not able to find the correct information, there are different ways available to get such information. You can convert. Sometime if you want to know the satisfaction regarding for example, if you want to know, if this organizing team want to know the satisfaction or feedback regarding this 5-day 4-day professional development program. Okay, so basically there are no specific criteria available, there are no specific mindset available, but ultimately you have to design certain common parameter to check the satisfaction level of different respondents who are attending or who have already attended the session 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so you could identify the topic first. Okay, you can identify the topic first, and then you should go for what we can say, that whatever the rest of the things, that is process and analyzing information which are available. So research paper, then you should go for writing research paper. Research paper is a methods and sections allow the reader to critically evaluate the study overall validity and reliability. Always check validity of the paper and reliability of the paper. Okay, always check validity and reliability before going to do research, whether it is validate or not. If it is not, no need to do research. If it is validate, then only you have to go for that, and you check the reliability. If the question, if you ask any questions to responders, first you have to check the reliability, whether it is reliable or not. So if it is reliable, if it is connected, then and then only you can get information. Otherwise it is very difficult to get the information. So always check validity and reliability. If the data is outdated, there is no use of it. Okay, you never get the result. If you strive for the result, you never, because it is outdated data, it is outperformed data. So you need actual data validate. So always check the validity and reliability before going to do research. I'm only the person, I'll always focus on these 2 points, that is validity and reliability. You can do everything, process absolutely fine. You do collection absolutely perfect. But before going to collection of the data, have you checked validity? Have you checked reliability? No. So without checking reliability and such things, it is very difficult for us. You never communicate, you never pass the actual message to the society. Are you getting? So this is very important and essential part over here. Then what is research? I could identify different characteristics of research. It's the systematic way of solving the problem. Yes. So first point, that is systematic. But how? What exactly mean by systematic? Systematic through process. Systematic through process. We have process. Okay, we can explain, we can identify, we can explore the process which is available in front of us, from starting from formula, from identifying problem to from up to executing the problem. Okay, whatever the problem that we have. If the problem, if I want to know the investment behavior of Indian people, so I can definitely do. So this is my academician investment behavior of academician in India, or in Gujarat, or in Tamil Nadu, or in Chennai. I can definitely do. So I have to define certain questions which are directly or indirectly reflect the behavior, to know the interest level, to know the various investment avenue available for the academics. And there are n number of paper available on this particular point. You just try to explain it, nothing else. So systematic view of literature review, systematic view of collecting the information, logical way, induction and deduction, from general to specific and specific to general. It is up to you. You can define from you have what how you can start the research from specific to general, okay, or from general to specific. Are you getting? So you have to use logical process. So before going to use logical process, try to understand the process. Then empirical study, purely based on evidence. Is there any supportive document available? Yes. You can identify that supportive document in the form of literature review. So whenever you are going to share with, whenever you are presenting your paper, you would have to identify, yes, from this particular, from this author, from this website, from this DOI number, from this website, I can download such paper, and I can use this base. So try to take evidence. Try to collect as much as evidence we have. Okay, then reductive approach means it is common for everyone, generalized for everyone. It is for society, it is for industry, it is for academics, and it is for particular, what we can say, that youth. Fine, then replicable. Okay, so it is very important through methods, through process, not research process. The methods we have, how we can collect primary, secondary, research design, descriptive, exploratory, or we can say that causal research design. Now, in this next upcoming slide, it is very important. No one need this. No one need this. You have to focus on 5W and 1H. You should focus on 5W and 1H. Okay, what is 5W? What is your problem? What is the problem? We never did directly jump to the title. No, take your time. Take your time to identify the problem. You can communicate your problem with the local public. If you concentrate, okay, day before yesterday I'm presenting one paper in international conference. Okay, the topic is the awareness related to the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, and another topic is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Two topics I have combined. So actual research, when I did the actual research, I got different what we can say, that figure. People are 10% people are aware about the actual. Listen, 10% people. When you do the actual study, listen, when you do the actual study, then 10% people are aware about actual awareness. I'm talking about actual. I'm not talking about Yojana. I'm not talking about the program. I'm talking about the actual awareness in terms of scheme, in terms of benefit, in terms of helping hands, in terms of different things. Okay, 10% people are aware in South Gujarat region, as far as the people who are eligible and entitled for the Awas Yojana. Actual benefit. 73% people are aware about the scheme and the benefits, and rest of the people are not aware about, okay, such kind of benefits available in the market or not. So that's why I told you, first try to know the problem, try to communicate the problem with the people, then who from whom from whom you can get the data, who will be the target audience, from whom. It is not everyone. Everyone is not become your target audience. If your title become to know the to know the academics, to know the behavior, investment behavior of academician, so your target audience become academician. But in academician you have to bifurcate, whether college faculty, whether a self-finance faculty, whether school faculty, in school granting and faculty, government faculty, and private faculty. You have to bifurcate, and then you can start. So who become the most important questions for you? Why you are doing research? What is your objective? And how you can solve the problem. Do we have any idea? That's why on my initial what we can say, that initial para I have already mentioned formulation of strategy. We did up to the formulation of strategy on a extraordinary way, with the help of extraordinary way, what we can say, that formulate. But once you completed the formulation, what about execution? Have you identified the research gap? No. Nobody. 90% people are not aware of 90% research in the research. They are not identify the research gap. So how you can complete your research? It is very difficult without identifying the gap between existing research paper and your paper. So you have to identify what is something extra, what is something different in your paper. Why publisher, why editorial board going to publish your paper at free of cost? Why? What is something different in title, in process, in objective? So always identify the gap, and that's why we are doing research. So why is very important. Then when? Specific time. You have to identify the time. Last 5 years, 2 years, current data, identification of time. Specify your time. At what time you are going to collect the data, and what time you are presenting the information in front of the society. If you do the research in 2019 before COVID, and now today you are going to present the report, it is totally helpless. Okay, it is totally, whatever the information you are going to share with the society, which is totally outdated. So whatever the information you are having right now, you can share with them current information. Fine. Then where? You have to identify the sample area from where you can get the data, and how? Through process, through method, through statistical techniques that we have. Through you can get the exact, what we can say, that is fine. So this is very important, 5W and 1H. Whenever you are doing research, you should focus on these things. At least it will take 6 months. You can ask all the questions, it will take 6 months. Okay, here the qualitative and quantitative, I'm not going to focus on qualitative and quantitative because time becomes the biggest constraint for us. So here it's a most important method. You should work, whether you can collect the data through qualitative method or quantitative method. Okay, once you have decided you go with the qualitative method, then we have 4 different methods, that is through interview, one-to-one interaction. Okay, it is purely structured, semi-structured and unstructured, focus group. You can through facilitator or through observation, you can focus on a particular, like what we can say that uh, yeah, I'm right now not recalling the exact example. Focus group study. Okay, then observation method that we have. Fine, with an OTT platform available on the focus group. Okay, they try to focus on this particular Big Boss is the best example of focus group. Fine, or any other things, that is student territory, student focus. You should focus on. You can identify the selective students and do the research on and document analysis through correspondence, letter, diaries, and email, and report through. Another method which is available, that is quantitative techniques. It is commonly used by most of the researcher, that is survey method. In survey method, you can do structure questionnaire, then observation method available. You just observe and through various what we can say that technical device to record all the behavior, and later on you do the analysis. Fine, document scanning. Day before, sorry, yesterday you have checked what we can say that Instagram. So our honorable Prime Minister visited the what we can say that they deliver a lecture, deliver a talk, and address the Congress Parliament, US Congress Parliament. So 15 times standing ovation. So it is known as observation method, through which they have observed Modi, our honorable Prime Minister, received 15 times standing ovation. So through technical device, through mechanical device, you should observe okay, what kind of right that we can get. Document scanning. Through the document scanning, we can do an experiment. Experiment is also another method through different. If your background is science, then you can go with the laboratory testing, and if your background is social science and management, you belongs to social science study, then field experiment, field study that we have, and through which you can get information. Here it's 18, here it's 11 steps that we have to follow. First is formulation of problem, that is problem statement, problem identification, review of literature, then choice of research design, sources of data collection and data method, sample techniques, which is known as sample plan. You are also inculcate all the information in research paper. Okay, and I also personally, I also recommend one more session to recommend. In future, if you want to organize any professional development program, you must go with how to write effective research paper and how to publish research paper in quality, what we can say, journal at free of cost. Fine enough. So there are certain parameters to write down certain paper, qualitative paper. So maybe you can directly, without going to review one, review two, sorry, without going to review 2, 3, 4 or blind review, you can directly get the chance to publish in Q1, Q2 journal. Fine. And designing of data collection instrument, organizing and conducting the field survey, editing, tabulating, classifying the coding of data, processing and analyzing the data, that is with the help of statistical technique. You can discuss the certain point in terms of findings, conclusion, suggestion, or recommendation. And last point, that is report writing. You have to write down whole report. Now focus on the red, which I have the words which I highlighted through red color. You should focus on that. Formulation of research problem, original question into more specific question. You have to break down original question. Question can be anything. Question can be anything, but it doesn't mean that your whatever the questions that where you can get the direct answer. So you ultimately you have to break down the questions into more specific one, so that finally you can jot down. At the end, you can jot down your questions, but initially you have to break all the questions into specific questions. Then identify the symptoms rather than problem and opportunity. What we are doing, we are working on solution, No, never. Always try to say whenever I deliver lecture on online or on any particular when any organization invite me to deliver a lecture on this particular topic, I always say I always throw some light on this particular. I identify the symptom. Whenever, for example, if anybody suffering from what we can say that headache or stomach pain or fever, so we just try to share with doctor, try to identify the symptoms. Okay, malaria or typhoid or any other normal flu, environmental effects. So they identify the symptoms, and on the basis of certain symptoms, they try to formulate actual strategy. Are you getting my point? And rightly said by philosopher, a problem well defined is half solved. Yes, try to define the problem. Try to communicate your problem with your guide, with your mentor, with your colleague. Fine. The feasibility of a particular solution. Yes, always check reliability, feasibility, and validity. Always check feasibility, whether whatever the idea, whatever the questions that we have, it is workable or not. If it is not workable, you never formulate. And that's why we are doing formulation of problem, formulation of research problem. You are formulating, you are not finalizing. Here you are formulating and make a star, make a hashtag. Yes, you can change it later. But first, formulation of general topic. Then what, when you are formulating the problem, what have you have to consider ideal point. Whenever you are writing formulate the problem, your problem is defined, divided into three parts. One is the ideal. For example, the topic is very simple: investment pattern of academics and with special reference to South Korea. The topic is very simple. So in first paragraph, first 3 or 4 lines, the things described regarding your title, which remain ideal. Okay, describe the desired goal or ideal situation regarding topic. You just have to write regarding common writing from Google, from notebook, from past previous paper. Okay, you can explain the thing. Second, you have to write the reality, means why you are doing, with the help of your objective. The support to what we can say that part A. So explain how the current situation falls short of goal and idea with the help of objective. And the third part, that is consequences. Means you authority this, you are going to do. So you propose to improve the current situation, and this part C with the help of research gap only. But most of the researcher, most of the what we can say that scholar never did such kind of things. You have to work on this, because when you are formulating the problem, it will automatically solve your half problem. But we never do. So ideal part, and I'm not personally, it is not compulsory to follow this step, but it is an predefined. When you are going into that, you can identify the certain constraint, certain procedural step. Step 2, review of literature. It is very common. Okay, why we are doing literature review? Focus on the middle three bold black letter sentence. What study have been conducted in the past? There are n number of study conducted in the past. You just have to download. Just gone through that particular PDF. And okay, and the most important, how this study were conducted. If you are unaware about the process, if you are unaware about to define questions, if you are unaware about what statistical tools that we are using, what sort of questions that we can inculcate, so with the help of past study, you can take the help and you can start research. So it's a rosy picture for you. Here right now you are blank, but with the help of past study, you can create some idea, some click in your mind, and the conclusion in the problem area. And at the end, when you are doing proper research, when you are doing collective research, when you are study properly, you can definitely get a proper solution. So get background information, I'm totally unaware about, okay, what is investment, what is academician, how to define pattern. I want to do research on this particular topic, but I'm totally unaware. So that's why if I want to know the background information, I have to collect review of literature and do the serious review of literature. Read about a topic using different sources which are available to check if exactly the same research problem has been addressed before or not. Yes, it is already available. It is already available. It is already available. But that's why I repeatedly, continuously I said, you have to define research problem. Okay, you should work on research problem through past study. And now the research design, the third step. Research design is the blueprint for fulfilling the objective and the answer of a question. Okay, basically there are three choices we have: exploratory research. If you want to create something new, if you want to explore something new, if you want to identify something new, you could go with the exploratory research. If you want to go with, if you want to know the depth, demographic profile of respondents, go with descriptive research. And if you want to know the relationship between two different variables, dependent, independent, dependent IPV, dependent moderate, or dependent control, whatever the factors, whatever the what we can say that variable you want to measure, the effect if you want to, then you should go with the causal research design. Okay, exploratory discovery of new idea, descriptive to know the characteristics of certain groups, and the last point, that is causal research, to knowing the cause and effect relationship between two or more variable. You have to check the impact of US visit, the impact of US visit on Indian startup. Okay, so definitely you can identify, or the impact of visit of Prime Minister Modi to the world largest democracy on Indian stock market on a particular sector, you can definitely identify the relationship. Yes, because there are number of bilateral talks that they have discussed, and number of yeah, what we can say, the program that we are exchanging over there. So you just have to check the effect, whether it is effect or not. You can check, you can take the defense sector from the stock market and the impact of defense sectors, you can measure the effect. Okay, and sources of data collection. Now we have two different types of sources, that is secondary sources and another is primary sources. Now in secondary sources, what kind of information to be collected, and in primary sources, what we can say that from where you can get the information. So two things are very essential, always ask two questions. First is what kind of information to be collected and from where we can get the information. These two questions when you go for secondary. When you secondary data means what? The data which is available on website, the data which is available on non-governmental and governmental publication house, so you can directly get the information. No need to do any kind of, and then you can do reflective research. You can identify, you can explore new idea with the help of existing result, with the help of existing data, with the help of existing the information which we have. In primary data, observation and survey. In survey we have three different methods: personal method, telephonic survey, and mail survey, through which you can get the data. The sources of information available: primary data and secondary, I'm not going to discuss, because most of the people are aware about the primary data and secondary data. Primary data are already published data, and secondary data are already published data, and primary data are a researcher try to explore fresh information through questionnaire, through survey form, and it is purely on publish data, and you can collect most accurate information through primary data. Fine. Now sampling technique, it is very important when it is known as sampling plan. Okay, you can divide sampling plan into this four categories. First is population. Like, what you have to do population study, so you have to collect entire India. sample. From that particular population, you can divide subset. Okay, for example, India, you can select Gujarat. From India, you can select Chennai. Also, Chennai, you can divide Chennai into the sub different parts. Okay, you can make a sample frame from where you can get that data, whether telephonic directory, finder, or maybe from the company you can get data. Sampling design, then sampling design, we have different method of sampling design. Two method, probability sampling method and non-probability sampling method. You can use if you are using probability sampling method, then we have four different, what we can say, that means you can give equal chance to everyone. That is known as probability sampling. Non-probability chances, maybe the population have unequal or negligence chance. Maybe there is a chance of repetition as well. Now you can see the target population become this, and from that target population indicate capital N, and sample indicates small n. Fine. So it's a practical things. Now, here the sampling method, we have different sampling method, probability sampling, simple random sampling, that is very common. You can simple random, systematic random, 2, 4, 6, 8, even number, odd number. Fine. Stratified sampling, you can select on the basis of certain characteristics, maybe through color, maybe through characteristics, through age. You can do the stratification. Cluster area wise. Okay. So here it's a probability sampling, it's a non-probability sampling, convenience sampling. Most of the researchers are using this non-probability convenience sampling. According to your convenience, you can get the information according to your time, and that's why whenever you are writing research paper, and in the limitation we have mentioned 2 points, that is time and cost become the biggest concern, and that's why we are not going to collect. And because of this is the answer of using sampling non-probability sampling techniques, that is known as convenience sampling. So voluntary response sampling, purposive sampling, if you are doing research for some specific purpose, they must go with purposive sampling. Snowball sampling, you can through referential sampling you can get the information. So it is very essential for everyone nowadays. Fine. Then designing of data collection instrument through which we can collect. You have to design the data, and designing the instrument. The questionnaire are the set of questions to be investigate and redefine the questions, or we can say that problem. You now here it's the most important things for every, that is questionnaire are the set. You have to draft a question and make a frame of it's a what we can say that we can say that it's a pool of questions you have to draft. And there are two types of questionnaire that we have: structured questionnaire and unstructured questionnaire. Structured questionnaire means it's a sequence that you have already defined, and non-sequence means that is unstructured questionnaire. You can directly or indirectly ask certain questions. Indirect questions you can ask in an informal way. But when you are doing structure, when you are using structured questionnaire, it is very clear, it is very specific. You have to go by the formula. You go by what we can say that the process. The researcher has to keep in mind proper wording and quality of questions while designing the question. Yes, two important essential aspects that is very important. The first is proper wording. You can use proper wording, and second is quality of questions that we have. Two important things that is really very important, that is wording. Proper wording, you can use proper wording to extract the answer from the respondents. And another question, that is quality of questions. What kind of questions you are going to ask, it is very important. So question can be open-ended, question can be close-ended, question can be unstructured, question can be structured, or it can be multiple choice question. And before going to finalize the questionnaire, you have to do pre-testing of questionnaire, and it is always required and essential part for conducting research. Fine. Another point, that is organizing and conducting. And now it is very important. Now you have to organize. Once it is finalized, next point, you have to organize and conducting the field study. Yes. First point here, you have to use proper wording and quality of question. Now, second, that is organizing and conducting. Now, here actually you have to execute the strategy. Here you have to execute the strategy. Okay, how you can execute? Now we have to do the proper planning. Okay, from where and how we can get the data. So prepare the questionnaire and select the sample design. Size of sample 100, 1000, 500. It is up to you and between you and your mentor. Two important aspects should look into the interview and supervision of fieldwork. Here, two important things. One is interview. You have to train them, you have to inform them. In this way you can get the information, in this way you can ask questions to the respondents, so that you can finally get correct information. Fine. Two important things. And second is field work. Okay, second is more important, that is field work. Okay, and supervision of field work is equally important to ensure the timely and properly completion of the field survey. Yes, it will ensure the things, that is, you can timely get the information or not. Fine. Then next point number 8, which is known as after collection of the data through field survey, after the completion of the data collection step. Now another point is editing, tabulating, classification of data with the help of what we can say that coding. You have to prepare a coding sheet. So editing of data to maintain the quality of data, to maintain the completeness of data, to check the consistency of the data. And another point is you can measure the accuracy of information which you are going to collect. So these 4 important things which you have to ensure before going to collect and before going to finalize the final result or published result. Legibility, that is quality, completeness, consistency, and accuracy. Once you have completed this thing, and try to omit. If you find any error, try to omit the error. And try, if any detect, you can identify, you can find out the error. Try to work on that particular error with the help of different methods that we have. And another point, after editing of data, tabulating the data, you should go for coding of data. What is your sex, that is male and female, so male becomes 0 and female become 1. So in this way you can do the coding and start analyzing with the help of different statistical methods we have. Okay, and last, that is process and analyzing the data through graphical representation, through what we can say that meaningful order. You can convert whatever the raw information which we have. For example, you can through research you can get 90% respondents are aware, so this 90%, 90, this become your data. So you can, whatever the raw information which you have, you can convert the raw information through statistical data, and you can publish the information, that is 90% people, 90% respondents are aware about so and so scheme or so and so things which are available. So you can convert the raw information into meaningful information. Fine. And relevant measure of central tendency, highlight the major aspects of what we can say that uh, aspects of data. You can use correlation, regression, hypothesis, n number of what we can say that statistical tools which is available in front of us. And then another point which is very important, that is discussion. You can discuss the result in a different way, in a clear, in a precise and a feasible manner. So whatever the facts that you have received, whatever the facts that you have received, you can try to put in a theoretical manner, so that people can aware, people can understand what exactly it is. So whatever the figure that you have published, You just try to communicate. The rest of the people are not aware. This much people are aware about so and so result. Okay, the conclusion is based on the whatever the result you have produced, and always try to write conclusion in the favor of objective. I have maybe I have assess or evaluate more than 7 or 8 theses during my tenure. I can say that I always recommend to researcher or research scholar or PhD scholar, whenever you are writing conclusion purely based on the objective, because you are finally you are conclude your research on the basis of your objective. Objective means the title. Objective means what we can say that is your title. That is the problem. Whatever the problem which you have formulated, now at last you have implement through conclusion. So conclusion is not common. Conclusion, you can write whenever you are concluding, whenever you are making or framing conclusion, it is very clear. Now you are at part. Now you are at end of the session. Okay, and last, action in terms of suggestion and recommendation. Suggestion are not mandatory. It is by choice, but recommendation it is by compulsion. So you if you give suggestion, so it is you never it is not compulsory to company or any society to implement. But whenever you give recommendation to any society or any institute or any particular customer or any group of people, they have to think and they have to implement such recommendation provided from the end of researcher. Fine. And report writing, it is very common at university to university, college to college. The formatting is different, but brief description that is systematic, articulate, and orderly present the research work in a written form in the specs which we have already discussed. Fine. And the most important, and also another suggestion from my end to organizing committee in future, if you want to organize session, you can organize session on personally development, how to write bibliography. Okay, most of the people are not aware about how to write bibliography, how to do citation, how to do referencing. No, so that is very important. Everything is available. APA what 6, APA what, APA 5, APA 6, APA 7. Madly, you can use n number of what we can say that referencing style available. So bibliography is a list of different sources that you have used for the support your topic. So this is all about research process. And another topic which I have to focus, that just wait for, I'm just going to open. To the organizing committee, my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
Now another slide, that is questionnaire design.
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, now the another point, that is questionnaire design. First part is over. That is research process. If you have any questions, you can ask me questions later on. Now questionnaire designing. What is dictionary meaning? Lemon meaning. A list of questions that are answered by many people. Common people. Any vernacular language you can use to ask, to get the information from the respondents. You can use Gujarati, you can use Hindi, you can use any medium. But ultimate our objective is to get information from the respondents. A questionnaire is used to collect information about a particular subject, particular point, or we can say that you can formulate the questions or formulate the problem. So with the help of formulation of problem, if you want answer of that particular question, you have to frame a question. Research questionnaire were developed in 1838 by the Statistical Society of London. So it is not today, it is not yesterday. You can see they were developed in 1838. Okay, now we are in 2023. Definition of questionnaire. Questionnaire is a research instrument that consists the set of questions or other type of prompt that aim to collect information for the respondents. Our ultimate objective is to collect the information. Whatever the problem that I have, for example, if I want to know the satisfaction level of for example, the Reliance have just before launch the new beverages. Okay, if I want to know the satisfaction regarding that particular beverages, then I have to frame a questions. Researcher have to frame certain questions related to that particular problem, and they can get the answer through respondents. So aim to collect information. My aim to know the satisfaction, to know the level, the level of awareness, to know how people perceive, how competitor perceive. My objective is very clear. But now very important thing, how we can collect the information. And for that, you can take a base of this particular point that is known as this particular instrument that is known as questionnaire design. Questionnaire designing is really very important and tough task for everyone. It is a mix when you have to indulge with three different questions. First is autonomous question, another is open-ended question, so anyone can give freely answer, and another is multiple choice question. You can stick with the choice. The purpose is gathering information from the respondents. When to use questionnaire? A large number of people that we, if you want to target large number of people, and if you want to know the demographic characteristics of respondents, and you can check the association between two different what we can say that variable, you can go with the question. Then whether age affects on buying behavior, whether income, you can check the significance association between income and any other factor. So you can do all the things at a time. Standardized data, you can obtain standardized data. You, with the help of predefined range of questions, you can get certain limited answer. To respondents are able to answer the questions. Yes, you can ask in such manner so that respondents can answer the questions easily. Whether you can ask in a simple manner, yes or no, whether they are agree or disagree, whether they are satisfied or dissatisfied, whether the things is important and the most important. So you can ask direct questions. You can remove ambiguity. You can use high level of English. Yes, everybody can use. Everybody can inculcate high level. You can use different words. No, try to use. Try to make questions as simple as, so that you can easily get the information. For example, I can ask if I want to know the age related answer. I want to ask age related questions. So you can directly ask questions. Age. Instead of I'm asking this question, I can reframe questions in such a way, in such a beautiful way that how old you are. Are you getting it? Ultimately, you can get the same answer. My question is to know the age. And same way, I just do the beautification of the questions. I can add some sort of sweetness in the question in terms of how old you are. Ultimately, answers become same. So why you are creating some confusion in the mind of person? If people are literate, then they can respond the question. If people are illiterate, so we can simply ask, क्या age है आपकी? क्या उम्र है? It is very common to everyone. So I'm also using some high level of English. I'm also using some high standard kind of word. which are reflecting it, which are creating. I'm creating impression and I'm impressed with my words. No, ultimate our objective is to get the information from the respondents, and how we can, through standard, easy and mannerable questions, through the wording. Self-administer. First you need these things. Self-administer. Second is researcher administer. Wording. What kind of word you have to use? That is brief. Not ideal. Ideal wording is 20 words you can use, and less than 20, not more than 20. Relevant questions you can ask. Direct question, relevant questions you can ask. Unambiguous words. No open, not open to more than one interpretation. In Gujarati, if I can say that hi, the people can use same word in different. People can interpret same things in a different manner. So never, not open to more than one interpretation. Try to avoid unfamiliarity word. Specific questions. Ask simple questions at a time. Objective of wording that not tries to let the respondent's particular answer. Stick with the objective. Stick with the problem that you are having. Okay. And to get, and this is very beautiful quote. I have to hear the quote. To get answer, ask questions. To get answer, ask questions. But to get good answer, you have to ask good questions. Unquote. It is very, very common for everyone, but we never ask good questions. Try to ask good questions so you can get a good answer. But what we are doing, we are just asking questions to complete our PhD, to complete our rest of the work. No, no, never. Always work on this particular parameter and do the pre-testing and pilot testing of questionnaire before going to finalize, before going to collect the information from the target audience, which directly help you out to removing the difficulty in terms of answer, questions, ambiguity, following the instruction. You can easily follow the instruction. If you face the difficulty, if you find the error, try to omit such error with the help of some synonym, with the help of some synonyms or some any other technique. How long time it takes to complete. So reasonably you can ask. That's why in the first point of wording, less than 20 words. So people can read, people can answer quickly. Okay, so reasonable. That's why I'm using the word called reasonable. Reasonable you can ask. Okay, so evaluate the questionnaire in terms of pre-testing. At least take the advice from the experts, take the advice from the few respondents, and if it is okay, you can go with the questionnaire. But if it is not, then try to reframe certain questions where you find the difficulty in terms of answering. The most important things which I like to talk and which I like to throw always, that you have to construct the validity and reliability, and it is very important for everyone. And we have to measure when before going to answer the questions. Construct the validity. Always check the validity of the questions, and always maintain the balance between things. And certain questions which you have to frame. Okay, here specific information which is needed, what kind of informations which are required, specific type of interview method, personal, telephonic and mail through. Determining the content of individual questions, you have to check, personally you have to review, and personally you have to retrieve all the things. Designing the questions to overcome the respondents problem in terms of inability and unwillingness to answer. People are not ready to answer, people are not ready to share the income, but you can make a range of that particular things, and people are ready to answer your questions. Deciding the question structure, deciding the structure questionnaire, determining the question's wording, what kind of word that you have to inculcate, make it simple, make it understandable, so people can understand, you can easily communicate. Fine, you can see my slide. I can use some difficult words over here. I can make some difficult statement over here. I can write some difficult statement here. But it is, according to me, it is not needed. People, what I have to, so I have to share the knowledge, whatever the information which I have, People can read it, people can understand it, and whatever the things I can easily communicate. Arrange the questions in a proper order so you can maintain the dignity, you can maintain the sequence, and you can maintain the what we can say that dilemma. Identify the form and layout through printout, reproduce the questionnaire through pre-testing, and eliminate the error of pre-testing. Now, whenever you are physical appearance of questionnaire, it is really very important it is really very important for everyone. That is use of booklet. Booklet, simple, clear format, clarity of question, able to complete, reduce what we can say that reduce the number of pages of questionnaire, remove that tendency of information to be number of if the more number of pages we can get more information. No, fine. So try to remove that kind of tendency that we have in our mind. Another point, that make the use of blank space which is available, higher the response, so you can increase the rate of responses. Use of color coding, emojis, nowadays you can use the emojis. You can smiley, you can use different smiley, you can use different what we can say that emojis that we have to get the answer. So you make it more attractive, you make it feasible, so people can attract and answer the questions. And interview instruction, make it very clear. Instruction for interviewer and interviewee. Okay, define the issue, same question. It is very important for everyone, which it is last point, last talk, last what we can say that uh, how much time which is left out, ma'am? Can I continue for 10 minutes?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
fine. Sorry for
Okay.
that. But now this is very important point, how to define issue. You can see I always or work on WH question. I need only 10 minutes. Sorry, audience, I need only 10 minutes because this is very important slide for everyone. Okay, in first point, whenever you are going for the research process, always ask 5W and 1H question. Whenever you are drafting question, whenever you are formulating question, okay, now here the 4W. 4W. The first, but whether it is 6W, but I can use only 4W to formulate the question. The first, the simple question: which brand of bath soap do you use? Okay. It's incorrect. Here, no ambiguity. Which kind of which brand of bath soap do you use? It is purely incorrect. But now you have to correct that particular things. You with the help of WH question. Who? The respondents. It is unclear. In this particular question, the thing is unclear. It is not clear. It is totally incorrect. Okay, and not clear. It is not clear whether the question related to the individual respondents or respondents of total household. Here in this question, who is your target audience? Whom you are targeting? Not clear. Second, what? The brand of bath soap. It is unclear which brand, from how long you are using such brand. So what is totally missing? When? Unclear. The time frame is not specified in the question. Since last 6 months, since last 1 year, since last 5 years. It is not clear. So respondents could interpret the meaning of bath soap used in the morning, week, evening, or in a year. Okay, or while they are traveling. Okay, where? At home, at gym, at road, at hospital, at work area. You have not. So it is for everyone. It is for everyone. Whenever you are drafting, whenever you are designing question, you can ask certain questions in this manner. Which brand or brands of bath soap have you personally, now you are targeting individual, have you personally used at home? When? Here you specify at home. Okay, at office, at gym area, at what we can say that outsourcing, home during the past month, so the people can recall the last month which brand I have used, whether it is Lux, whether it is what we can say the Dettol or any other different Dove or There are different brands of WhatsApp available. In case of more than one brand, you can take the options which are available. Okay, morning maybe I can use Dettol to for freshness, and in the evening I can use different another bar shop. So people, it is open for everyone. And so with this end of my session, and personally thanks to the organizing committee, it is thanks to organizing committee, and special thanks to Rekha Naidu ma'am for providing me the opportunity to deliver a talk on research process and questionnaire. I know that it is very difficult to cover. It is very difficult to cover the things, but I'll try to share all the information with the respondents. So now, over to you,
Thank you, sir.
organizing committee.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So now we are in the question answer session. Participants, if you have any questions, you can raise your hands or you can write your questions in the chat box.
Wait a minute, ma'am. I have said
Yes, sure.
I would like to request participant, if you have any doubt related to the question how to write research paper, or if you want to organize session for your faculty, this is my contact number, and this is my mobile. This is my mail ID. You can communicate through my mail as well as through my mobile number. Okay, 99247, because I always ready to help each and everyone. Okay, so with the help of this particular platform, and I personally thanks to this institute to organizing such a wonderful session for upcoming research scholar, upcoming youth. And seriously, I congratulate the entire team of Partition. So really thank you so much, the whole organizing team, from director, dean director, and the organizing committee and executive committee. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Sure, we will arrange a more research related PDP, sir. So participants, if you have any, want to have any doubts, please, you can raise your hands. Or you can write in chat box. Okay, sir. I think there is no questions from participant side. Shall we close the session, sir?
Yes, ma'am, no problem.
Okay, sir. On behalf of Department of Accounting and Finance and Commerce Shift 2, today I express our deepest gratitude and to deliver a vote of thanks as we conclude our 5-day professional development program on the topic uses of tools and techniques for research writing. First and foremost, we would like to extend heartfelt appreciation to our resource person, Dr. Chintan Shah, Shah, who decided his time, sorry, who dedicated his time, knowledge, and expertise to guide us through this program. We are immensely grateful for your valuable sessions, practical tips, and thoughtful, provoking discussions that you have provided throughout the program. His expertise has equipped with this necessary tools and techniques to enhance our research writing skills. Thank you, sir. We are also indebted to our director and secretary, Brother Dr. Stanislas, academic director, Dr. Fatima Vasan, and principal, Dr. Geeta Rufus, who has been a constant source of guidance and support throughout this program. I would also like to extend heartfelt thanks to all the participants who actively participated in this professional development program. Your enthusiasm, engagement, and willingness to learn were evident in the question and answer sessions. Lastly, but most importantly, we extend our sincere appreciation to the organizing team for their generous support in making this program possible. As we depart from this program, we carry with a wealth of knowledge, new perspectives, and valuable skills that will undoubtedly enhance our research writing endeavors. We hope to apply the tools and techniques learned here to produce impactful research and contribute to the advancement of our respective fields. Once again, we express our profound gratitude to everyone involved making this professional development program a memorable experience. We look forward to future opportunities for continued growth and collaboration. Thank you all, and may you continue to thrive in your academic and professional pursuits. Best wishes to all. Thank you, sir. Thank you, participants.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Can I leave the call?
Yes, sir.